ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕೆಂದು ಹಿರಿಯ ನ್ಯಾಯಮೂರ್ತಿಗಳಾದ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಎಸ್.ಜಿ. ಪಂಡಿತ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ.
My dear brother and sister judges, family members, Additional Advocate General, Assistant Solicitor General, Additional Registrar General, Additional Registrar Judicial, Special Public Prosecutor, Additional State Public Prosecutors, Principal Government Advocate, Additional Government Advocates, High Court Government Readers, members of Bar Council, President and Office Bearers of Advocates Association, High Court of Dharwad, Learned Advocates, Deputy Registrar, Assistant Registrars, staff members of this office, officers of PWD and its staff members, police officials, doctors and nurses, press and media friends, my dear children, ladies and gentlemen. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ 76ನೇ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯೋತ್ಸವದ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. Wishes on the 76th Independence Day celebrations. I am happy and privileged to hoist the tricolor today on the 76th Independence Day celebrations. We have completed 70 years of independence. For individuals, institution, state or nation, it marks a milestone as it termed as the Diamond Jubilee year. Thus, there is a reason for celebrations. Today, it marks the culmination of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative by the Government of India to celebrate and commemorate 70 years of independence and the glorious history of its people, culture and achievements. After gaining independence on the 15th August 1947, India became a sovereign country which would be governed under a democratic framework. Today, when we celebrate and enjoy freedom, it is but natural for us to remember with great reverence the heroic deeds and sacrifices of the freedom fighters, some known and many unknown. We cannot ignore the role played by the lawyers who turned freedom fighters. Besides winning independence, we well-known lawyers Mahatma Gandhi, Motilal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Madan Mohan Malviya, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, just to name a few, not only understood the administrative policies of the British, but also comprehended the form of governance and the laws. The freedom struggle was a war against injustice, inequality, racism and cruelty. It was not a war of ammunition or weapons, but it was a war of strategy and mental strength. To put it in different words, it was a war of words, words used as ammunition. Who else could be magicians of words but lawyers who used words as tools, words for livelihood? Achieving independence is not the end of the story. At the most, it may mark an end to a chapter in the nation's history, but most importantly, it marks a beginning to the chapter on nation building. The process of building the nation, which is a continuous process, started 75 years ago. The contours of this chapter are spelled out in the Constitution of India. Each and every individual has his own role, responsibilities, and duties towards nation building. Building a nation is not an automatic process, but as stakeholders, every individual has a role to play and should realize his responsibilities towards his nation. As a responsible citizen, each person should fulfill various duties like paying his taxes, exercise his vote, discourage corruption, and educate his fellow citizens against corruption and bribing. If each individual contributes a bit, it is indeed possible to have a colorful and exciting chapter in nation building. It is our duty and responsibility to preserve our freedom and to hand over the baton of freedom to future generations with all its colorfulness and prosperity. The preamble to our nation's Bhagavad Gita, that is the Constitution, assures justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Article 51, capital A of the Constitution of India enumerates fundamental duties of every citizen of India. It is the duty of every citizen of India to abide by each fundamental duties as enshrined in Article 51, capital A of Constitution. Advocates have a greater role in nation building process. Lord Denning expressed the role of lawyers towards a progressing nation in the following words, quote, as an advocate, he is a minister of justice, equally with the judge, unquote. The lawyer as a class has an obligation to see that the rule of law is maintained. The Indian judicial system, which is independent from the executive, is working towards justice dispensation. Judiciary is the rightful interpreter of our constitution and the current laws. In our country, the judiciary upholds the idea that justice demands, balancing the needs of an individual and the welfare of the society. It is because of this reason that today we thrive as the largest democracy governed by a written constitution. The principal bench at Bangalore and the benches at Dharwad and Kalburgi are functioning to minimize the delay in administering justice. Richard Eric Susskind, in his book The Future of Law, published in the year 1998, wrote about impact of technology in administration of justice. Further, he wrote that technology will bring drastic changes in the field of law and will transform the court system. But little did anybody think about a pandemic for transformation. Every crisis ushers in a new opportunity, an opportunity to advance and improvise oneself, an opportunity to make ourselves immune to the problems and hindrances which may cross our way in the future. Some significant developments had taken place before the COVID-19 crisis in 2020 with the digitization of judicial records and establishing of e-courts. Before the pandemic, virtual hearings were used only in a very limited manner. While the focus on e-courts and digitalization of judiciary and administration began much before the pandemic, the onset of pandemic ushered in new avenues in the usage of technology in the legal profession. The Indian judiciary has increasingly started using technology, and the change is reflected in the legal profession as well. The COVID-19 restrictions provided a major thrust to the digitalization of Indian courts. The judiciary, led by the Supreme Court and the High Courts, adopted e-filing for urgent matters and conducted hearings over video conferencing. In this era of modernization, courts should not be left behind. A fully digitalized infrastructure needs to be built to provide easy access. Presently, the e-court services mobile apps allows any litigant, advocate or any other person to check the current status of a case in the district courts or higher courts across India. Under the present circumstances, virtual courts are needed, but there are many glitches and hindrances for their smooth working. Lack of complete infrastructure, training, internet connectivity could be some of the challenges that must be addressed, especially at benches of Dharwad and Kalburgi. Before I end, I would like to quote the Greek philosopher Heraclitus, quote, "The only constant in life is change," unquote. Let us all accept the periodical changes and strive to move forward to protect the constitutional values and ethos and ensure the supremacy of law. We should realize that all of us have the responsibility of taking the nation forward, responsibility of preserving the independence of the nation, responsibility of fulfilling the dreams and aspirations of millions who have sacrificed their lives for the sake of the motherland. Let us all as responsible citizens contribute our best towards the development of this wonderful motherland and help to preserve and strengthen the essence and fragrance of Bharat. Jai Bharat Mata, Jai Karnataka. Ellarigu. Thank you everyone.